All right, hello. I almost just went live on my regular page instead of my group. So here we are. Sorry for being just a few minutes late. It's been that kind of a day, but I'm happy to be here with you. And I'm really excited about this topic about how to get leads in your business, because this is the question I get asked all the time, is like, how can I make some immediate income? So that's what I'm here to tell you about today. So thank you for joining me and talking about, how to get more leads. I am, for those of you who haven't been acquainted with me yet, I'm Katie Collins, and I help coaches and wellness practitioners overcome your fear of sales so that you can get fully booked with clients and have the cash that you would love to have to finally take that vacation that you don't have the time and money for. And even just to pay off credit card debt, which also feels really good, or whatever goal you have that you're currently not achieving because you don't have the cash to do so yet. So either way, or all of it, it feels so good to finally have the time and money freedom that most of us become entrepreneurs to have. So I would love to know, if you're here live, how many of you have been struggling to get enough leads in your business? So we all get some leads. But I want to know if you've been struggling to get enough. Let's see. I am not seeing this live in the group. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you for letting me just kind of fumble through this process. This is a lot for me to manage. Okay. So feel free to add comments as I go along. And even if you are viewing this after I recorded it, after the live version, definitely add some comments. I'll be able to see them and come back and chat with you. So, so I just want to start off by saying I totally understand the struggle with not having enough clients, enough leads, in your business to get the kind of clients that you'd like to be getting. The frustration and the sheer disappointment that you aren't helping many people, right? Because you've been too shy to put yourself out there. I know it's hard to imagine that I actually can be shy, but I can be very shy sometimes, especially when I'm new at trying something. And so I totally get how it's hard to put yourself out there. And then, of course, because you're not getting enough leads, then you're worrying about money. And, that story in your head that you'll never make enough money to actually pay off that credit card debt or the student loans or whatever kind of debt you might be carrying. That story is a killer to any notion of action that you might take, right? It's the voice of why bother? And that's not going to get you anywhere, is it? So I felt that way before. I remember being so afraid to put myself out there. What would people think? Would they judge me? Would they, or worse, even mock me, right? So it's like apparently my inner wounded teenager comes out with those thoughts. But seriously, all of that kept me in the inaction. And inaction kept me really safe. Do you know what I mean? It creates that safe problem where if you don't take action, you get to stay in your comfort zone. And in the comfort zone, nobody's making fun of you possibly, or nobody's judging you, right? But also nobody's hiring you either. So, inaction really just kept me broke. And although I was comfortable being, although it was miserable, I was very comfortable being broke. That was my comfort zone. That's what I was used to when I was a teacher. And, now broke is a word that we can all define very differently, right? But to me, when you feel broke, it just means that you don't have enough cash to do what you really want to do. And for some people, that's never being able to take a vacation. For some people, it's never being able to buy a home, right? But what are some things that you just don't get to do because of money? So those feelings of being broke just come up, and it's an old wound of mine. But that's my comfort zone. And so the effect of being in action, like the reality that I didn't really have a business, but more of a hobby, and that one made me very, very little money. So I was stuck there. So I just telling you, I know that frustration. And then I found my first business mentors who taught me all about client attraction strategies. And now I wish the story that I was going to tell you would be, I took action immediately and I got a bunch of clients. But the truth is, for the first 6 months, I still only took like 10% of the action that they recommended. And what's funny is I still made money. So even 10% is better than none. But actually, I finally got to that stage where it was like the enough is enough stage where I could not continue working at my job. I just was burnt out. It was a lovely job with lovely people, but I was burnt out. Oops, my phone battery is low. And so the second time I did the program, I did everything they said. I pushed through so many boundaries and barriers, I can't even tell you. But it actually worked. And so maybe you've tried to put yourself out there, on Facebook or other social media sites. I see a lot of postings, and so maybe you've been networking and trying to meet people and it just feels like nothing's working, right? And so you've probably sat there wondering if you really have what it takes to be a business owner and questioning if you're good enough, right? Are you smart enough? Are your people really going to get results? And what if you put yourself out there and no one responds, right? So if you're feeling frustrated and wondering if it's even possible to have a steady flow of clients or leads each month, with consistent cash in the bank month after month, if you're ready for that, this training is for you. So I'm glad you're here. All right. So at the end of the training, I'm going to invite you to sign up for a free copy of my ebook, How to Get Good at Selling Your Service Without Feeling Uncomfortable, so that you can learn even more how to talk about what you do so that the leads are coming in, right? How to share about your personal journey in a compelling way so that people are attracted to wanting to get to know you better. And then how to navigate the actual enrollment conversation from all the leads that are kind of come your way. So that's what that book is for. I promise you, it doesn't feel pushy. It feels so easy that I know eventually you'll get to where I am right now, which is saying, I love sales. So I want you to get there. All right, so more on that later. Let's just get started. So I just want to start off by telling a little bit about who I am and why you should listen to me talk about getting leads. So for a few years, I was a business coach to clients from a large business coaching company in California. And what I would see time and time again was newer clients who had a lack of self-confidence. And because of that, there was a resistance to taking action. And so with that came the frustration that they weren't making enough money and the fear that they never would. And the reason why it bothers me so much is because it's this vicious cycle, and it just broke my heart to see their talent potentially go to waste just because they didn't have the confidence to put themselves out there, right? So let's get over that. But even deeper than that, I noticed that most clients that were holding themselves back were women. And we have so many bullshit stories wired into our DNA, like don't shine too brightly, right? Don't brag, don't come off as arrogant or pushy. And so it makes it hard for some women to shout from the rooftops that they're in business. And so instead, they end up playing small or not at all, and they take very little action and they stay frustrated and scared about money. So actually, I have a book that I want to recommend to you. I keep it so handy. I just love it. It's called Playing Big by Tara Mohr. I don't know if that's backwards for you. I hope it's not. So her last name is Mohr. And it's practical wisdom for women who want to speak up, create, and lead. This book talks so much about some of that stuff that we as women struggle with, and it's why we're not taking action. So I really recommend this book if you're somebody that feels like you're playing a small game and you need to overcome that, because I'm going to give you some ideas for leads, but you need to overcome some of the stuff to take the action, right? Okay, so I just want to say, I understand that frustration when we hold ourselves back, because I had done the same thing for about 2 years. And I just became determined to specifically help women overcome their fear of putting themselves out there, because the world definitely needs what we have to offer, and we are so damn talented. So let's get you out there. So I definitely can help you get results. I wrote an email yesterday about my client I called Jen. I didn't want to use her real name because I didn't have permission to share the story, but she was in a tight spot and she needed to create some income that month. And so we set up some of these lead generating strategies that I'm going to talk about. And because of the action she took, not just ideas, right? It's really important to get that action in. She ended up earning $7,500 that month, and it was her biggest month to date. So I just love that story because she was so, broke and upset and, like bad things happen in threes. It was just this like super bummer of a week when we had a particular session, and we just, busted right through that. And by the end of the month, she had plenty of money. So I've been working with coaches and wellness practitioners and other service-based business owners for 5 years now. And I've noticed some client attraction strategies that get big results. And so that's what I'm going to share with you. All right, so I'm going to share with you 5 today. And so I'm sorry if I'm talking fast, but I'm trying to keep these to about 30 minutes. But all of these are ideas that you can do even if you're new to business, or fairly new. And, don't worry if you're one of those women that's stuck in kind of the zone of inaction, because it's not your fault. Like I said, I was there until the fear of running out of money became bigger than my fear of being seen, right? So it's kind of ironic, but really fear got me out of this other fear. But for me, money can be a big motivator, and it doesn't always have to be seen as the root of all evil. Some practice that I just started doing was before consultations, when I'm really calling in to get a new client, or I want to call in like a full pay and I've got a big plans for that chunk of money that's coming in. I've laid out envelopes of donations that I'm going to make as a result of the sale that I'm calling in. So just things like that to wrap our head around the fact that it's not the root of all evil and that we can do really great things in this world when we make more money in our business. Okay, so are you ready to know the first lead generator is to ask for referrals? So this is actually a super simple way to get started, and you can ask for support from friends or family. So what I recommend is to make a list of 10 people who really want to see you succeed. Okay, so these are not power partners that you met at networking meetings. These are people that just love you, and they're super excited that you went into business for yourself and they want to see you succeed. So that's where you should start. Of course, you can ask the power partner people for referrals too, but it starts asking people who already love you dearly. So then you want to draft an email that you can cut and paste to each person. And then of course you want to take special care to add something personal at the top of it. And the email should state, what you're up to in business, who you serve, and the results that you help people get. And then ask them if they can think of anyone who might need an introduction to you and your services. So although this step can feel uncomfortable if you've been hiding out for a while, it's literally a strategy that's worth its weight in gold. It's amazing what your friends can do for you, okay? Friends and family. So your action step there would be to draft that email and see what comes out and see if you can succinctly describe who you are and what you do. All right, so lead generator idea number 2 is authority marketing. So this is using videos and content creation to let people know about your expertise, right? So if you think you've got nothing new to say, you're right. Okay, so I had a coach say that to me when I felt like, oh my gosh, all of this, I've been listening to business mentors for years, and so it's not like I'm recreating something, right? I've repurposed content and I've made my own signature systems. But when I talk to you guys about niche, it's not like I'm the first person that's ever said that word to you, probably, right? And so I was kind of stuck in that zone a couple of years ago around like, oh, I don't have anything new to say. So I avoided video. So I was right, because if that's what I think, then that's what's true, right? So I had to overcome that. So video is definitely the fastest way to credibility and visibility. And those are the two things you really need. So it's 90% more likely that someone will watch your video versus read any of your content. So if that doesn't change your mind, if you're not doing videos right now, if that doesn't change your mind, then I don't know what will. Because if your point is to get in front of people, then I would take the strategy that most people are listening to, and right now that's videos. So you do have something to say, and the minute you sit down and decide on some topics that you could bring up, which I'm going to come up with in just a minute. I'll give you some examples. It's going to be so quick for you. Okay, so first thing, you could share about a book you read and why you liked it or didn't like it. This is like a really easy thing to do a Facebook Live on, right? And then people can pop in and be like, yes, I've read that book. It's amazing. And I'll tell you, as a watcher, as a viewer, if I see people comment and say, oh yeah, I've read that book, that's amazing, about a book I haven't read yet, and 10 different people are saying it's amazing, I order it, right? So it's a real contribution to talk about books that were very meaningful to you, or books that really kind of made you mad, right? Because that's a platform to stand on as well. Okay, another idea is that you could share about a simple life experience that created an aha for you, right? So as an example, I was at the coffee shop and I was sort of grumpy because I hadn't had my caffeine yet and I was tired. But I had challenged myself to be nothing but friendly to everyone I came across for an entire day. Maybe that was my morning practice. And I couldn't believe how much my real mood shifted, right? Because the bad mood I was in was the real mood, but on the outside I was being friendly to everyone. I couldn't believe how much that shifted by simply being kind to others. So that's an example of a story I could tell. So it's like drawing a conclusion related to what you do and then leave them with a mission like yours. And so you could talk about the story, what came up for you, and then invite them to do the same thing or do the same thing and tell you what their aha was, right? So it doesn't always have to be educational based marketing. It just has to be you getting in front of people and letting people know, I'm open for business. Listen to me, right? Kind of like the Bitmoji I put in the group with the girl with the clashing of the symbols, like pay attention to me. So these are things that you can do that get people to pay attention. Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna take a quick sip here. Okay, in lead generator number 3 is to host a workshop. So I realize if you haven't done this before, it may seem like a huge undertaking, but do you want to know the best way to get started with this one? Here's my tip. Pick a date, choose a venue, and write down the title and a couple of bullet points, and boom, a workshop is born. Okay? So the time that it takes to market the workshop is the time that you can actually write your workshop. Okay? So you don't need to have all your content written out ahead of time or anything. You need to get a date on the calendar, you need to find a venue, and you need to have a title and a couple of bullet points. That gets the movement started. You'll watch the registrations come in, it gets exciting, and then in the meantime, write your content for the workshop. But the reason why I think hosting a workshop is a really fast lead generator is you get to make an offer to a room full of warm leads already. If they chose to come to your workshop, they're already interested in what you have to say. So you can easily make an offer for free consultations. And thank you for the like. You can easily make a offer for free consultations and come home with, 5 or 10 leads, right? I think in Jen's example, like 10 people showed up, 5 people wanted a free consult, and she got 2 clients out of it. So, why not? Why not try? So you can literally, in this month, host a workshop, right? So if you're like, I need money right now, then that is the fastest way to get some cash. Okay, lead generator number 4 is host a social media giveaway, or like what we call a flash sale. So if you're in need of some real quick cash, coming up with a giveaway or flash sale to promote on social media is the way to go. So an example of a giveaway, you could say, one 30-minute, get unstuck session with me for free today. Comment below with help me get unstuck, and I'll randomly select a name at 6 o'clock tonight. Stay tuned for the Facebook Live when I'll announce the winner. Okay, so I'm not giving away a free 30-minute session. That was an example of a giveaway that you could put on your personal page. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes, right? This is totally up to you, but giving something of value. And let me tell you why this works. It drums up energy. It gets people to know what you do, right? Some people may not have tuned in, but this thing got their attention. And then you get an idea for who is a warm lead because on your friends list, because they're commenting, right? So then all of those people are getting added to your, pool of people to choose from who wins the the prize. But then follow up with every single person who played the game, because now you know those are potential leads for you, right? So what else can you come up with to work with them in a way that would be comfortable to get started, as opposed to saying, hey, let's join my 6-month, thousands of dollars program. But at least you know they're a warm lead. All right, so that's the giveaway example. If you wanted to do a flash sale, I did this one time. I was like really in need of cash, and I just wrote this random, hey, I'm offering a small package of 3 sessions to help you get, X result, right? Whatever that is. You want to make sure that you pick a problem and solution that you can actually create in 3 sessions. But the work that you do together, if somebody buys that small package of 3 sessions for, say, $200 or something, yeah, it's lesser than you would ever charge maybe for a package of 3, but this is a special, week of Thanksgiving only or something like that. But likely you'll get an upgraded sale from that experience that you would have with the person anyway when they buy your package of 3. Right? So that's an example of a flash sale. You could have, 3 days only or something like that. But I did that one time. It was a very vague life coachy post. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I did sell one for $297, a package of 3 sessions. And I needed that $297 at the time, and I was thrilled. So, there's power in Facebook. Of course, Facebook ads are going to get you a lot of action, but if you don't have the time, money, and attention for that right now, you could do these simple things every now and then and create some good lead generation. All right, so that was number 4. Number 5 is write a transformational post on Facebook and insert a call to action. So you've probably seen some of these, and to be frank, sometimes they tend to be too long and people don't read them. But the gist of the idea is that you tell a story that has a low point, a turning point, and a high point. And that it could be related to your big why of why you're in business, but it definitely should be related to the niche and what you do. In some way you want to relate the two. And then your call to action at the end is you have been there, you've seen the struggle, and it just breaks your heart to see others struggling with it. So you've opened up your calendar for 5 or 3 or however many you want spots this week to book a session with you, right? And I would come up with a cool name for that session or whatever. But the transformational post shows people what's possible and lets people know that you created transformation in your life and you're going to show them how to do the same thing. So these do tend to work. I mean, literally, you can definitely get a paying client out of that post, if not a couple of paying clients. You can definitely get a handful of consultations for that particular post. All right, so just to recap the 5 strategies I told you, I'm just going to go over my notes here. Give me a second. All right, number 1 was ask for referrals from your friends and family. Number 2 is to do the authority marketing, so getting yourself on video and doing some content creation, forming opinions, that kind of thing. They don't have to be long. Number 3 was to host a workshop. Number 4 was to host a social media giveaway or a flash sale. And then number 5 was to write a transformational post with a call to action. All right, so that's what we've got time for today. Before I go, I want to give you a couple of resources to help you get into action, because none of this information is going to help you make money unless you actually take action. Let's get real. So the first one that I already mentioned earlier was my ebook. So if you want to grab a copy of that, it is free. How to get good at selling your service without feeling uncomfortable, so that you can get fully booked with clients and have the cash to take that dream vacation or pay off that credit card debt, student loan debt, whatever you've got carrying. Either way, it feels so good to have the time and money freedom that we all were promised, so to speak, when we got started here in the entrepreneurial world. So to get that, just go to my website, CoachKatieCollins.com, and enter your name and email. It is under construction, that website, so it's just a landing page, so you cannot get lost. Enter your name and email there, and you'll get an amazing email series as well with how to build your business using my root system. And if you would like to grab one of my Get Tons of Leads strategy sessions, you just need to comment below or send me a PM. I made room for 3 of them this week and early next week. So if you want one, I only have 3, let me know ASAP. And then I just ask that in order for you to qualify for one of these free sessions, you have to be a coach, a wellness practitioner, or some other service-based business owner. You've already earned some money in your practice, and you're willing to make an investment in yourself, whether it's time, money, and energy, to actually take the action that you need to take. And that will create the income that you really desire. So if you're ready to get fully booked with your ideal clients while still making time for family and fun and adventure, just grab one of these, get tons of leads, strategy sessions with me, and I would be happy to support you. All right, so that's it for now. Have an amazing night. Talk to you soon. Bye.